Hi, this is Attorney Sharp Raleigh for a presentation on the H1B Amendment, which is becoming a headache for many. As we have noted, when the H1B Amendment proposed under the Simeio case came out, we made this slide share, but many more problems have come after that we wanted to address. But quickly, let us go over what this case requires and what needs to be done. When do you have to file an H1B amendment? Okay, under the matter of Simeio Solution, which was passed on April 9, 2015, any employer who's moving the employees require not only to do a new LCA but also will have to basically uh, do an amendment of the H1B in order to move the employees. Especially if the employer is a consulting company, they will have to do that. I repeat that. Not only the LCA, you have to do an amendment of the H1B. And they used to give some time now, but this time is gone because this was passed in 2015 and we are in 2016 now. And the issue is basically material change under 8 C.F.R. 2.14. And what happens is, before, whenever an employee will just move into to another job location, just an LCA file will suffice. But now with the new Simeio case, they want a full H1B amendment to be done. And how this is done is you have to file it pretty much like filing a new H1B. Now, what happens? Like I said, I'm going to go over the problems that we are facing now and seeing when people are filing those H1B amendments, because many lawyers are not really familiar with it, and if it is not filed properly, things are turning out to be very, very complicated. And we have seen situations where people end up into a mess where their status or refused to be changed, etc., and even their H1B taken away. So be very careful on those. So amended petition required before placing the employee, that rule is still there. The only difference from this slide is, as long as you file the amendment, the employee can move to the other location. You don't have to wait for an approval. This is very important because you tend to think you have to wait for an approval, and especially if you're not filing under premium, you will see that it will take months to get an approval, almost 6 months to 8 months. So be careful on that. And the amended copy is to be filed just like you're filing the new H1B. The filing fees is usually just the regular 325 fees, unless you're doing a premium. So I'm going to give you some tips later on, but let me go into what they are talking here is as you can see on the street, as long as you're outside the MSA, and you have to file the amendment. And also the thing that we are seeing a lot now is the fact that because this thing is new, we are when do you not need to file an amendment? The truth is that it's getting so confusing because they're basically saying the same thing that was there before. If you're moving to the same kind of county, you don't need to file an amendment. But the truth is that whenever someone is not filing it, USCIS is punishing them for it, which of course is counterintuitive, and they are really creating problems on those. You have within 30 days, uh, you have up to 60 days, 30 days for you to file. And you if the employee is moving to a place where basically it is just temporary, like 30 days, you might not need to file this. So be very careful on that. And I'm going to talk a little bit about issues we are seeing again later on. And of course, non-worksite locations. Certain employees will have, by nature of their job, they call it peripatetic in nature, and that means they have to move to other location. For example, nurses, situations like that, where they have to go pretty much on another location, but they're still the same employer. You don't have to file an amendment. Now, filing an amendment um, is really kind of required now if you're moving, and that was a date they put here. They gave up to August 19th, 2015 for people to fix their cases, but since we are making this video in 2016, March 2016, things have changed. A lot of people have been okay filing the amendment, and we ourselves at the office have filed many amendments successfully. But of course, the problem is that many employers sees it like really cumbersome to file the amendment, and the question now is, if it is denied, what happens to your H1B? As long as your employee is going back to the original where the H1B has been placed, let's say for example you're moving them from client A to client B, and they get denied with client B amendment, they can always go back to client A. But if they cannot go to A, then you basically have to start over on the case, and this is where all the problems is starting. Oftentimes we're seeing cases uh, where there is a pending amendment, and you have to file another one. So you have to ultimately file successive amendments. And this is a question many people are asking me. Okay, I file an amendment. In the meantime, it's pending to 3 months. I move my employee to another job location. Do I have to file another amendment? Yes, you do. And what happens to the previous amendment? Do you still have to take care of this one if there's an RFE? The answer is yes, because if the first one doesn't go through, you don't get the second one because it will not flow on the status. It's of major importance to make sure you maintain your amendment carefully. And also you have to submit the receipts of previous petitions. You need to make sure that that you are filing properly, and this is where a good lawyer should come into play and can be very helpful. And again, ladies and gentlemen, here I am talking about the amendment. Now let me talk a little bit about the problems we are encountering or people are encountering. So I'm going back a little bit on those slides just to give you an idea, and I'll put the link of those slides where you can get them on our slide share. The issue that we are seeing is, for example, let's say for example someone has to file an amendment but at the same time an extension. What do? Well, the way to do that from our perspective is to combine both in one. Since you have to do an extension, the amendment can be included in that so that there's no problem. If you don't include the two, what will happen? You might see the extension getting approved before the amendment, and when the amendment comes, they might deny the whole thing. So it is important, if you file two, an amendment and an extension, make sure you get the amendment approved first, quickly file it in the premium, then you file your extension. And these are kind of few tips that is very important to make your case successful. Our law firm has filed many cases, either it was H1B, regular H1B, H1B transfer, H1B H1B extensions. So we will be glad to help you. If you're a company or even if you are an individual who needs help or a consultation, feel free to call us 510-742-5887. And anything I told you today, ladies and gentlemen, is for educational purposes only. You should not rely on this as legal advice. If you have any questions, the number to call 510-742-5887. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Until the next video, I say goodbye.